guys, and welcome back to the channel. And as you can see by the title card, this week we've got another haul video. Bit of a back-to-back there with the haul videos, I am afraid. The idea was to do a show and tell from the collection this week in the midweek as normal. Unfortunately, time has got the better of me, and unfortunately I was unable to do that. And the weekend video, as this will be out on the Sunday, unfortunately, as the title, as I said, is another haul video, so a bit of a cop out there. But following on from the massive holiday haul video, the good luck of finding stuff in charity shops and second-hand places continued, and I managed to find quite a fair bit, nowhere near as much as I did when I was on holiday. So let's dive straight in and go through what I've managed to pick up. Hopefully there'll be some things that you'll find of interest. First up, I managed to find a BFI, the Pleasure Garden. I've seen this one online quite a few times and been intrigued by it, and found this, as we can see, for £1 in a charity shop. We've got filmed amongst the ruins of the Crystal Palace terraces, is a playful and poetic ode to desire, made by American poet James Broughton. The film features Hattie Jacques, filmmaker Lindsay Anderson, with John LeMessurier. Okay, lovers of the history of Crystal Palace will find much to treasure in this 1950s time capsule of a film. Okay, there we go. It's got some special features on there. Short documentary charting the construction of BBC's Crystal Palace television tower, and booklet. Now, if I remember correctly, this should still have the booklet. Yes, which it does. There we go. So, found that this week. Found a Blu-ray, Francis Ford Coppola's One from the Heart. Now, I've seen this as a child, didn't really get into it, I will be honest. So, been looking out for a copy of that. I'm a Francis Ford Coppola fan, more so the early work than the later stuff that he's been doing, or has done. It is a French release by the looks of it, but it does have an English audio track, so I've checked that out already. So I picked that up, only £1, so there we go. Now, the other night I was watching one of those more independent TV channels like Legend, and they had a film that I would not necessarily have watched or took much notice of, called Crank 2 High Voltage, and it was absolutely crazy. Unfortunately, it was on late at night, so I couldn't watch the rest of it. So I thought, okay, that's got me intrigued. So if I ever see Crank or Crank 2 in the charity shops, I'd go out and I'll pick them up. And lo and behold, found the first one. Don't know anything about that. I'm not really a Jason Statham fan, but found that in the charity shop at the beginning of the week. Thought I'll pick that up and yeah, just see how crazy these movies might be. And then, lo and behold, for 50p, Crank 2 High Voltage, the one that I actually caught about the first half an hour of. And yeah, so going to see what these are actually like. But yeah, it was a crazy start. It had if the rest of the film was just as crazy as the first 30 minutes that I saw, I think I'll probably be quite exhausted by the end of it. Okay, so got a couple of spaghetti westerns. This one was a fantastic film when I was a kid. It was so fun. Comedy spaghetti western with Terence Hill, Henry Fonda, produced by Sergio Leone. My Name is Nobody. I've been after a copy of this for a little while, and found one which is a Korean pressing, but is absolutely fine because it has an English language soundtrack, English language audio track, so it's absolutely fine. In fact, I actually have already watched this. I watched this last Sunday actually, and it was great fun. Brought back some wonderful memories, and it's such a fun film. It's definitely a one of my favourite top spaghetti westerns. They also had another one of the films which has been branded as a nobody, the Terence Hill character, but actually in this one he actually plays a character called Joe Fanks. This film actually is known as, in the English-speaking world, as A Genius, Two Partners and a Dupe. It also actually has one of my favourite actors in it, Patrick McGoohan, as an army colonel. Although Patrick McGoohan's voice is dubbed even on the English language soundtrack, because I believe that basically he took the money and ran. He didn't go back and do the English dub, so he's actually dubbed by another English actor. But again, the rest of the movie has an English soundtrack on it, so it's watchable. And I watched both of those as a double bill last week. Found a DC movie. Now this one I have already got, but when I got this second hand originally, the case itself wasn't particularly great. I think the inlay card was a little bit damaged, so I've managed to pick up, I suppose technically what you would call is a replacement one of that one. Oh, doesn't want to go back in there very well, so let's do that very carefully, otherwise I'll end up with another damaged inlay card. There we go. So that was the first little lot. And then we have, again, another film I saw as a kid, Night of the Hunter. This one, it was in a group of DVDs I picked up, sort of like 3 or 4 for £1. Wasn't going to originally pick it up because as I have seen it quite a bit as a child, but just wanted to re-watch it, re-evaluate it, and enjoy the experience again of the cinematography in this one. As a lot of people know who are into their movies, obviously it was the only film directed by Charles Laughton. Didn't have a very good experience with when the film came out and it was reviewed. Obviously later it's now been re-evaluated as a very acclaimed film, but it took a few years for that to happen, which can happen to filmmakers. So have a good look at that. Another one, I remember watching this on Channel 4 as a kid, Oh Lucky Man with Malcolm McDowell. Just so I happened to walk in and it was like, oh, there's a film I haven't seen for years. Absolutely bit bonkers as well. I think this is a little bit of an odd film, and the adventures of Mick Travis, who's the Malcolm McDowell character. Didn't realise this film was as long as it was. It's like nearly 3 hours long. Yeah. I'd like to have a sort of re-watch of that, re-evaluate it. It's over 50 odd years old now, 1973. So going to have a re-watch of that one. Next film we got is something that a lot of people have given a lot of praise to. I found a copy of Godzilla -1. Yeah, a lot of people have been talking about this, saying how brilliant it is. So this I actually found by accident because I'd actually gone into the charity shop, bought a couple of the others, was walking back home, and I thought I'll just nip in and see if they've stocked back up the gap that I made buying some of these others, and they had. In the hour or so I was down the road looking at other charity shops, they'd restocked, so I walked back in and found 2 or 3 more, and this was one of them. So very lucky and quite pleased to pick that up, particularly on Blu-ray in the modern age, because obviously it's a fairly recent film, and obviously they're producing less and less on DVD and Blu-ray now because of streaming. So the fact that that's come out on a Blu-ray, DVD, I'm quite happy to pick that up and see what all the talk is about. Picked up one from my wife, as anybody who's watched the previous videos knows she's into animation. So hadn't seen this one. She's also likes Christmas movies. She's also getting a collection of Christmas movies together. So this kind of covers both Christmas and animation. The Cat in the Hat knows a lot about Christmas. So again, it was in a group of 3 or 4 for £1, so saw that, picked that up for her collection. Obviously we've got the new film coming out, and I do have the the TV series Police Squad, which I picked up recently in a charity shop. This was in one of the sort of local Help Our Town charity shops. As you can see, only £1 on the logo, and it's all free on the sticker. All free films in one box set. So I thought, well, got the TV series, got the new film coming out. What I'll just do is I'll just pick that up. Wasn't an awful lot of money, and have that. Next one I was very pleased with, same shop that I bought the Naked Gun trilogy from. They had Do Not Adjust Your Set, seen as the as it says, the classic series that led to the creation of Monty Python. It's a 2-disc box set. The discs are absolutely brilliant in there. They were fine. The case was a little bit ropey, so I've actually changed this. This is a nice new brand new case. The inlay card had a little bit of damage, but you can't see that now. It's in the new case. So yeah, we often see Monty Python all the time in charity shops, but I've never seen that before in a charity shop. So that was actually only 75p, so I couldn't go wrong there. Then we've got a few for the wife again. Found Creature Comforts, Merry Christmas, again because she collects her animations, so I thought we'd pick that up for her. And earlier in the week had found Creature Comfort Series 2 Part 2 and Creature Comfort Series 2 Part 1. So I picked those up. Again, they were in another deal of 5 or 4 for £1. So pick those up. She's got all the Wallace and Gromit movies, so that's all part of that, as it's the same makers. Next one is one that I've seen fairly recently on TV. It's been a couple of times on Talking Pictures TV, actually, The Ship That Died of Shame. But I'm really pleased to get an actual physical copy of it. Richard Attenborough, George Baker, Bill Owen, who Bill Owen will be famous for, obviously playing in Last of the Summer Wine as Compo. Excellent little British film, this. It's about 3 friends during the war. Richard Attenborough, George Baker and Bill Owen. They all meet up. They're all friends, as I say, during the war. The war ends and they get a boat to do jobs, pleasure cruises, freight carrying, that sort of thing. And they do the boat up, and unfortunately, I think it's the Richard Attenborough character is the one that starts it. They start to do a few illegal jobs, running illegal booze and cigarettes, that sort of thing, and illegal passengers across the coast. And once they start doing that, the ship that they've rebuilt and tidied up starts to rebel. It starts to have faults. The engine doesn't work correctly. And the premise is that the more illegal that their activities get, the more the ship protests against what they're doing. And so it turns up on Talking Pictures TV quite regularly at the moment, but I was really pleased to find a physical copy of that to actually watch it properly without advert breaks, of course. I would recommend that one. Anyone who is a fan of British cinema, old British cinema in particular, that I would put as one of my favourite British post-war movies. So quite pleased to get that, as you can hear. Another film, don't know this one, from let's see, year of release 1942. Haven't seen this one. This was another one that I found along with Godzilla -1, which had been put out when I returned to the charity shop an hour later, and some new films had been put out, so I've picked that up. David Niven, Leslie Howard, filmed during the dark days of 1942, the immortal story of the Spitfire, which helped to win the Battle of Britain. We'll be coming back to the Battle of Britain in a moment, because I also found the steelbook version of the Battle of Britain. I have a few steelbooks. I know there's a big market where DVD collectors will collect steelbooks. Some collectors will just only collect steelbooks. I tend to pick up the sort of sci-fi ones, that sort of thing. Again, this and The First of the Few and Godzilla I picked up all together. This had a lot of special features which sounded interesting. So we've got a restored score there. We got Battle of Britain documentary, recollections of RAF Squadron Leader featurette, lots of special features there to watch. So I'll probably say I've picked it up more for the special features than perhaps the movie, although I will watch the film. It was one of those that was always on when I was a kid growing up during the 80s, and my dad always watched it, so I think he even taped it off the TV back in the days of VHS recording. So picked that up. Next is another one of these Best of British collection. I think I mentioned this collection before in the holiday haul video. This one, as you can see, comes sealed. It's donated, denominated as a war film by being orange. As I mentioned in the holiday haul video, the Best of British collection, they actually colour code all their films. So one subject, like i.e. war, is orange. Another one will be red, blue. I think there's different shades of blue for different things like crime and adventure. Comedy, I think, is something like bannered in white. Again, if you're interested in seeing a video on the Best of British collection, I do have quite a number of these. So if you want to see a video on the Best of British collection and see the different colours and the groups that they put them in, then I'm quite happy to sit down and go through those. Let me know in the comments below. Okay, and last but no means least, something that I found fairly recent, 70s TV series, starring Ian Hendry and Wanda Venom. I'm not going to be able to pronounce her name. Wish these actors would have nice names like Smith or Jones. It would be so much easier for people like me who can't speak. Ventum. Anyway, Benedict Cumberbatch's mum. The Lotus Eaters. It's one of those that I've seen numerous times on YouTube channels, and it comes up on these classic TV shows from the 70s that you don't remember or do remember type of channels. 3-disc set. This cost me a little bit more than usual in a charity shop. I think it was about £3 or £4, but for classic TV show, something like this you'll never probably find on a streaming service. The only way, if something like this interests you and you want to see it, is probably only going to be if you find it in a charity shop that's still doing DVDs. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to pick that up. This is series 1, I believe. Yeah, complete first series. Do like Ian Hendry. He is one of those sort of classic 70s actors that just about turns up in about everything. So do enjoy watching him. Okay, so there we are. We've got our piles of recent hauls. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Sorry it's a little bit of a rushed video, as unfortunately, as I say, time got the better of me this week. Hopefully next week I'll get back on track with doing another show and tell from the collection, and we will go from there. I do have a couple of books which have come in the post, so I may do a little bit of an unpacking on those, and I shall see you in the next video. Usual, please like, subscribe, pop a note in the comments if any of these films interest you and what you think of them. Please hit the notification bell as well, so you know next time I post a video. And I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.